Today's debate will be between two of my personalities, the pirate Straw Hat Grant and Jay. The hat will tell you who is addressing the audience. If the hat is on, then you are hearing from Grant, and if the hat is off, then you are hearing from Jay. The debate topic will be who would win in a fight, Superman or Bugs Bunny. Jay will be arguing for Superman, and Grant will be arguing for Bugs Bunny. In this instance, Jay will make his initial argument first, so without further ado, I will let Jay start with his 1 minute main argument. It is so obvious that Superman wins this fight. Bugs Bunny's main weapon is talking. Really, he loses all his power when that is taken away. Superman isn't stupid, and he will know this prior to the fight. All he needs to do to win the fight is to have it end before Bugs Bunny can say a word. The fight would definitely play out as follows. Using his super speed, before Bugs Bunny can get a single word out, Superman would close the gap between them and gag Bugs Bunny, which renders Bugs Bunny completely defenseless. At this point, he would tie up Bugs Bunny and cart Bugs Bunny off to jail because that is how Superman wins all his fights. Bugs Bunny never has a chance. The whole thing is over within about a second. There just isn't any way that Bugs could counter that. He doesn't really possess weapons, and he has historically never faced anyone with such superior power. Easy peasy, Superman wins. Now it's time for Grant's 1 minute rebuttal of that statement. Bugs Bunny's weapon is that he outthinks his opponent and is always one step ahead. It is not his ability to talk. If Superman tried that, Bugs Bunny would be one step ahead and have Porky Pig film the interaction with instructions to send the recording to people for the ethical treatment of animals. Upon seeing this, PETA would send out their lawyers. Superman winds up in jail for false imprisonment and animal cruelty, while Bugs Bunny gets all of Superman's money. Bugs wins. Superman has to maintain his morality or he loses the fight. And if he is going to maintain his morality, he can't falsely imprison Bugs Bunny, who isn't really subject to man's law because he is an animal. To win this fight, Superman will have to win without breaking his morals or using imprisonment. Here's Grant's 1 minute main argument on why Bugs would beat Superman. Here's how I see the fight playing out. Superman isn't permitted to break the law, so the minute he shows up for the fight, Bugs Bunny will convince Superman that it is duck season and not rabbit season. Now, what can Superman do to Bugs? Nothing. Bugs Bunny will walk around tweaking his nose and having fun teasing him until he gets bored. Once Bugs is bored, he will go to his Acme catalog and order a piece of kryptonite. We all know that Acme sells everything. When Bugs' kryptonite arrives, Bugs will use the kryptonite to turn Superman into a normal man and drop an anvil on him. End of story, Superman is squashed, and Bugs eats a character while saying, "Ain't I a stinker?" Jay's rebuttal to that. Superman can thwart that plan easily. First, Acme takes time to deliver their goods, so instead of standing there letting Bugs tease him, Superman will fly to the nearest ranger station and ask if it is rabbit season. If it is not rabbit season, then Superman finds out when the last rabbit season was and uses his ability to turn back time to go back to the last rabbit season. Once it is confirmed that it is rabbit season, he finds Bugs, cooks Bugs with his heat ray vision, and eats him. As long as he cooks and eats him, then he will have maintained his morality because we all know it is considered morally cruel to kill animals for sport, but perfectly moral to kill animals for sustenance. Bug's plan was destined to fail before it starts. Alright, Jay's 1 minute closing argument. It is completely obvious that there is just too much difference in the physical prowess for Superman not to be able to completely stomp Bugs Bunny in a fight. While I might admit there is more, this is a more complicated issue than I thought going into this debate, overwhelming power always dominates wit. It is just that simple. Bugs Bunny may seem formidable in his own world, but that is because his opponents aren't formidable. Once faced with a formidable opponent like Superman, Bugs Bunny clearly doesn't stand a chance. To put it plain and simple, Bugs Bunny lacks the physical prowess that he would need to win a fight with Superman, and his intelligence will not be able to compensate for that lack of physical prowess. Alright, now Grant's 1 minute closing argument. How can Superman win in a fight against Bugs? First off, their physical prowess isn't as prowess isn't as different as my opponent suggests. Bugs Bunny dodges Elmer's Fudd's shotgun blasts all day long, so Bugs regularly proves to be faster than a speeding bullet. Every member of the Looney Tune environment is burned, disintegrated, fall off cliffs, or are crushed by anvils, and so on. They all instantly recover every time, and with that regenerative ability, the Looney Tunes are nearly indestructible, including Bugs. Then there is Superman's susceptibility to being outsmarted. Lex Luthor uses his genius and nearly beats Superman with wit all the time. Bugs Bunny is way smarter than Lex Luthor, so there is no competition here. Bugs Bunny is the hands down winner of this fight.